You see me representing El Segundo with the cap because 50 feet across the street is one of the best breweries in America. El Segundo Brewing.
This is big news. He's just bought the paper.
You're pretty stoked if El Segundo Brewing is your home brewery. I met Garrett Marrero from Maui Brewing about 3 years ago. I went over to Maui and interviewed him as a beer writer. And what I was struck by was what we all love about craft beer, that it's local, it's sustainable, it's about jobs and just purity of the passion for craft. It's not about money, although it's kind of about money a little bit, but money's okay. But Garrett Marrero and Maui Brewing really, to me, exemplify what's great about the craft brewing revolution in America. And how cool is it that it's at Maui, pretty cool location to have a brewery. So I want to introduce him to talk about the sustainability of what they do, and just, he wanted to do beer brewed in Hawaii for Hawaiians, right? So I want to talk about that, and I'll let him talk, and then we'll come back and we'll do some Q&A, and if anybody in the audience has a question, we'll talk to Garrett. Garrett Marrero, Maui Brewing.
Aloha, everybody. How are you? All right. Everybody's got the aloha down. I love that. Yeah, that's a great introduction. There were 4 great gentlemen in front of me to introduce me, and I'd love to say thank you to all of them, especially the house. You know, Michael and Rockin' Brews have been huge supporters of our brand for quite some time, and it's great to be out here. I've never been to this location, and it's been a great time. So again, thank you for having us. Flew in last night, go home tomorrow. Quick turnaround, but I really wanted to be here, special for you guys. We're doing a pig for everybody tonight, actually a couple of pigs I think so far today. And like Anthony said, we've got 11 beers on draft, 8 of which we've never poured in the mainland before, which is something really special to us to bring, to showcase some of the things that we do at the brew pub and the tasting room in Lahaina and Kihei that never reached the mainland. So blew out some special beers so you guys can all try them. I'm drinking the hop kind, which is our IPL or India Pale Lager right now. But we've got a lot of great options, and I know the servers are more than willing to give you some descriptions. If you have any questions about the beers, please let me know. As Daniel said, I started the company about 10 years ago with one vision in mind, which was handcrafted ales and lagers under the aloha. I went on a vacation to Maui and fell in love when I was 23 years old. Is that better? Yeah. I was about 23 when I went to Maui the first time and knew that that's where I wanted to be the rest of my life. And a couple years later moved over and started Maui Brewing. It was a dream that took a huge leap of faith. I convinced my then girlfriend to move with me, and she's now my wife. It worked out, thank God. As well as the company did too. And we're now Hawaii's largest craft brewery. We're sold in 12 states and growing, and we'll brew about 40,000 barrels of beer this year. And every drop of that is brewed in Hawaii, creating local jobs. Thank you. Aloha, guys. You got some kamaina over here, I'm sure. You know, and so it's important to us to continue to evolve in that avenue. So making sure we're giving back to our community, sustainability. Craft beer is really about a sense of place, and that's extremely important to us when we're on an island nation like Hawaii. So thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for drinking our beers. Thank you for your support, and I'll say mahalo. Yeah, aloha.
All right. I also want to give a shout out to 2 of my favorite people in all of LA beer, Missy and Anthony, who are getting married. 2 great LA beer people getting married. I don't think you're supposed to have this kind of relationship in the workplace. They're probably trying to avoid some lawsuit for Michael. So, but great beer people here at Rockin' Brews. Rockin' Brews does it right for craft beer. And so if anybody has any questions or whatever, but I want to say again that Maui Brewing for sure, like they exemplify what's great about craft beer. It's all about sustainability. It's about keeping it local. I would say that I would tell the story about how Maui Brewing really started was because Kona Brewing, that you all know, Kona Brewing is actually brewed in Portland, Oregon, or Tennessee, but not Hawaii. So, you know, El Segundo Brewing is brewed right across the street. Maui Brewing is brewed in Maui. So, does anybody have any questions for Mr. Garrett Marrero? Questions? Anyone? Young people? Baseball players? I know you have a question. What is it? Pepperoni or sausage? Yes, so that's a good point. What?
Other 12 states.
Which other 12 states are you in?
That's a great question. The 12 states we're in, of course, Hawaii. Then we have California, Oregon, Washington, Nevada, Colorado, Texas, Maryland, Virginia, Idaho, and Alaska. And we're also in 5 countries. So we are a global brand. And we're continuing to grow that as our production capacity increases. And then the gentleman here had a question about if our new brewery is open. And that's important because last year we opened our production facility in Kihei, which is a 42,000 square foot beer mecca of Hawaii. Like I said, we're the largest craft brewer in Hawaii. So we have a, like I said, 42,000 square foot, huge 5-acre lot with 2 brew houses. We're actually putting in a still as well. But we opened in October, we started brewing, canning in November, and opened to the public in December last year. So all the beers you're having tonight have come out of our Kihei facility, which is the new place. So we're, like a lot of the breweries here, you're hearing about capacity issues and not having enough beer, or sometimes you'll go to the store and not be able to get your favorite beer, and that's because they just don't have enough room to brew the beers you want to drink. And that was happening to us as well. So we built a new place to be able to continue to expand on that site and to meet the demand for our beer. So thank you.
I gotta ask a question. So believe it or not, when we opened our Rockin' Brews in Paia, there was a lot of hoops we had to jump through. We had to go to a lot of meetings and a lot of you know, you said you moved there, but how difficult was it to get approval to build a actual job-creating, beautiful brewery, sustainable brewery, all the great things? How difficult was it to get approved in the curtain of Hawaii?
Really, it's teeing it up, really. It's not the easiest place in the world to do business. I'll put it that way. You know, fortunately, we fostered some great relationships that made permitting a not as difficult process as it has been for many. But I've seen some painful
All the other golfers'
stories just emerge from both building permits, liquor permits, water's the big one, which I hear you guys have the water all the time. So it's definitely difficult. It took us a little over 2 years. Probably would have been 8 or 9 months, maybe 10. So it took almost 2 years for us to actually get open. So it was very difficult. We lobbied a lot of our senators and congressmen, so I really have to give a shout out to our representation federally, as well as at the state level, because they were the ones that I would leverage in order to say, hey, we're creating 30 jobs the first month we open, and we've always been a state that has some of the highest unemployment in the country. So by adding those jobs, we were able to sidestep, I guess, some of the issues that many others have had. But it certainly was not an easy task, and it's many of the reasons why breweries don't brew in Hawaii anymore is because of all the problems that we saw. But we persevered because we believe the right thing to do when you're making a local Hawaiian product is actually make it in Hawaii. That's important. Authenticity and integrity are important, and we stayed true to that. So, thank you. Very good question.
So another thing I would like to point out that's changed in the 3 years since I met Garrett and interviewed him in Maui is he's from San Diego, California. He's a Maui transplant. but Maui Brewing is distributed. Most beer fans don't really pay a lot of attention to distribution, but it's kind of important. It's how we get our beer. So Maui Brewing is distributed by Stone Brewing. And recently, I'd say a year ago, Garrett and his friends Greg Cook and Steve Wagner at Stone Brewing created is it Maui Stone or Stone Maui? Maui Stone, of course. So Maui Stone distribution in the Hawaiian Islands. So one of my big disappointments was going to the Hawaiian Islands, loving it, but the beer, other than Maui beer, was kind of So now the whole Stone portfolio is available in the Hawaiian Islands, thanks to Garrett's efforts, and so that's an important thing we don't think about as beer fans, is distribution. So you got Maui Stone distribution in the Hawaiian Islands. I would like you to just, maybe we can wrap up, because I don't think everybody's that excited about beer talk. Drink beer, don't talk beer. But I do want you to talk about, like, at his brew pub and places, like, everything is local and everything is sustainable. They make their own ketchup and mustard, and
I saw that.
Like, they do it like you should do it. So talk about your dedication to doing that kind of stuff.
Sure, I'll get right to that, but we have a gentleman who has a question. The question is, what am I drinking? I'm drinking the IPL, which is the India Pale Lager. And do you have a question as well? Okay.
What's your favorite beer?
I think I have to go with the usual answer, which is a little cliche, but always the beer that's in my hand. It's the one closest it reached. But it's a great question, because, you know, there's so many different styles of beer. I've been crushing on lagers lately, so things like Paloma Pilsner and Bikini Black Lager are also a great option. Did you guys win today? All right, cool. First beer's on me when you're 21. All right. But yeah, the IPL, it's hop kind is what it's called. It's a hybrid style called an India Pale Lager. So, but as Dan was saying, we are a very sustainable company, not only from our energy efforts.
Did you see an actual pig roast?
Photovoltaic energy, solar thermal,
Be sure to get some of that.
energy we capture wherever we can. You know, some of that is just the sustainability side of things because we believe it's the right thing to do. But those of you that have been to Hawaii, or those of you who have lived in Hawaii, we have some of the highest electrical and gas rates in the country. We pay 39 cents a kilowatt hour for electrical, and propane, because we don't have natural gas, is about $3.60 a gallon, $3.50 a gallon. So I think California, the highest I've ever seen, is about 24 cents for a kilowatt hour of electricity. So you're talking about substantially more, almost 50% more for electricity in Hawaii. So we try to do our best to reduce that from a fiscal standpoint, but also because it's the right thing to do for the environment. But at our pub, you're right, we make our own ketchup, we make our own mustard, our own salad dressings. The buns are made by a local baker down in Lahaina. All the meat is from Maui Cattle Company, and that comes from guys that are picking up our spent grain, raising cattle, and then selling us back the meat. So it's a really closed loop kind of, we like to think of it as farm to brewery and brewery to farm, because we're supplying them the food product for their animals, and then we're using that in our restaurants. So we believe it's a very natural, very healthy way to serve food and to prop the idea behind local agriculture and sustainability that way. So it's not just the energy, but it's also supporting the local family farms, which is important to us.
Thank you very much.
We were one of the first breweries to put beer in cans. So it was 10 years ago we started canning, and we were the 11th brewery to do so. And there are almost 500 breweries putting beer in cans. So we've been canning long enough that people back then were like, why would you put good beer in a can? It's not meant for it. And now people don't even ask that question. So it's really good to have educated the market in that way as well. But thank you again. If you have any questions on the beers, I'm sure the servers can help you, but I'm absolutely available to you if you have any questions. We have some guests that are visiting Maui at different times in the next year, and have reached out to say hello, so we'll look forward to seeing you, Nancy, at the party. So Anthony's got a question, it sounds.
So I got a question from my dad. Being that you're from Maui, and that's an island,
last time I checked, you guys are really good at growing sugarcane, and you guys probably can't grow barley and hops. So where do you get your barley and hops from?
That's a great question. Like most breweries around the country, even Segundo makes fantastic beer right across the street. Those hops aren't grown in the LA Valley, right? They're grown up in the Yakima Valley up in Washington, along the 48th to 42nd parallel, where you get cold weather throughout the year to go dormant. It's a rhizome. So our hops come from Yakima Valley, just like the other breweries. We also bring in a lot from New Zealand. There's a cultural tie, not only Maui specifically, but Hawaii in general, from the Aotearoa tribe of the Maori in the hop growing region of New Zealand. So we're bringing a lot more hops in, that a lot of different varietals that you get in New Zealand that you cannot get in the mainland. And then a lot of our malted barley comes from, for Bikini Blonde Lager, comes primarily from England and Germany. And then most of our two-row and the other beers comes from Minnesota, mainly the Midwest and Canada. So there are very few estate ales or estate breweries in the country, actually in the world. I can only think of one that actually brews beer from own malt and hops. And it's a very small artisanal brewery that you can only get in their hometown, so it's almost impossible to do that.
All right, does anybody else have a question? Anybody? Question? All right, I'm like a game show hoster.
Do you do tours of the brewery?
Tours of the brewery.
Yeah, we do tours of the brewery, so you're welcome to join us anytime. We have a full brew pub on the west side, which is the Lahaina side of the island, and then in South Maui, we have the production brewery where you can come in and see us toast 1,000 pounds of coconut to throw into the coconut porter and learn about our process, taste the beers, buy our beers to go, and then we're adding a brew pub to that location as well. But it's a family affair and open to the public, absolutely. We encourage it, actually. I think some of the baseball guys had a couple of questions too. No? I think they're daring each other. I would have done the same thing. I still do that. Did you have a question, Nick? No. Yeah, the still project. We're putting in a still. I'm a big fan of whiskey. I'm sure there are plenty of whiskey fans out there. One of my good friends, Yusef at Ballast Point, says that whiskey is what beer wants to be when it grows up. And he makes fantastic beer and he makes fantastic whiskey. So it's been a passion of mine for a long time, and it's kind of my pet project right now. Selecting the still, deciding on which spirits we're going to do, and the aging and maturation process. But definitely a whiskey, absolutely. If we can get enough local corn, I'd like to do a bourbon. But our distillery concept is all predicated upon local agriculture, telling us what they have and what can we make from the agricultural products, as opposed to us saying, let's just make this product and bring in all the ingredients. So we really want to use the still to to really monetize crops that aren't profitable for a lot of the farmers in Hawaii, to increase local agriculture and make some very unique spirits from that. So we get bumper crops of mango or guava or strawberry or things like that are high sugar content fruits, and we could ferment those and distill them into some pretty cool spirits. So, thank you. Yeah.
Hey, I just sent out a Facebook message and Twitter over to the East Coast. My brother lives in Boston, and he wants to know when you guys are coming out to Boston. They want to try it out.
I was just in Boston 2 weeks ago. My brother-in-law actually threw out the first pitch at the Red Sox Twins game a few weeks ago, which was awesome. We were there kind of testing the market, so we'll probably be there next year. That's our goal. But we've run up against capacity issues again already with the new brewery, so when we add some more tanks, we'll come out and see them for sure. Thank you.
All right, any other questions for Garrett from Maui Brewing? Anybody? So, all right, we got one more. Hold on.
So, that's okay. Okay,
So Garrett, you travel all over the world. You see breweries everywhere in the world. Which brewery have you not been to that you would love to visit sometime?
That's a good question. There's so many breweries. I mean, I think you can't actually keep up with the pace the breweries are opening right now. I'm on the Government Affairs Committee for the Brewers Association, and there's a new brewery opening in this country every 14 hours. We used to measure it in days, and now we're talking about hours. So I think for me, I haven't been into El Segundo, especially since they launched the new tasting room. I think we had talked about, I think Dan threatened me with dragging me over there to taste a beer earlier. So I definitely probably have to say that one. I had the great fortune to go to Cantillon on Public Brew Day a few years ago, and I think that is one of the all-time most amazing experiences for anyone who loves or thinks they might love beer. And that's in Brussels in Belgium, and I'd highly recommend doing that. But that's a hard one. That's like trying to say your favorite beer, like the guy put me on the spot earlier. I would like to say too, our website, real simple, MauiBrewing.com. You can reach me through the website. I still get all of those emails, believe it or not. And we're at Maui Brewing Co. for company, so at Maui Brewing Co. on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So I appreciate you guys being here tonight, and of course, if you have more questions, I'm happy to answer them, but I know you all want to drink some beer, so we'll do that together. And what we would say at home is Okole Maluna, which is bottoms up. So aloha and Okole Maluna.
Happy birthday. And I heard you won, so that makes it a better birthday. It's always better when you win, just remember that. We got anything else? So I want to say on behalf of, I'm going to be bold and say on behalf of LA Beer, the LA Brewers Guild, which is championed by your brewery across the street, El Segundo Brewing. Tom Kelly is the events coordinator for LA Beer Week. So LA Beer Week just started today. It runs through next Sunday. You're gonna have brewery events all over Los Angeles. Please frequent them. On behalf of BeerPaparLA, I was very excited to have Garrett Marrero from Maui finally come to Los Angeles. I've been asking him for 3 years. I congratulate Anthony for pulling that off. Because I was asking Garrett, like, when you coming to LA? When you coming to LA? So he's here. So this is actually a very cool event. Maui Brewing's never been in LA officially. And so I thank Garrett, I thank Anthony, I thank Rockin' Brews, Michael, Dave, Missy, the whole Rockin' Brews crew. And enjoy LA Beer Week. And drink local, read local.